Hi everyone, this is Brian, aka Oops, almost at Texas Treasures. I changed the YouTube to one page, obviously referencing books. I've made a decision for a couple of reasons that this channel will be now mostly focused on becoming a book club and reading and discussing good books and ideas. Up until this point, it's been reseller focused, and I'm still reselling, by the way. Don't worry about that. That has not changed. Still reselling. Matter of fact, just finished shipping out the orders for the day. Had quite a few orders shipped out. I only got one thing listed today because I spent most of my time shipping. But on my reselling journey over the time, I've done garage sales, thrift, estate sales, online auctions, storage unit auctions, in person, online storage, you name it. I think retail arbitrage. I've kind of covered all of the reselling paths out there, and I've finally, after after listening to Chris, aka Daily Refinement, in the book, and this will be one of the books I will be reading and doing the book club on, is the one. It's like I needed to focus on one thing, right? It's and I know the variety and all these different reselling opportunities have been profitable. Val, how you doing? Glad you could stop by. They've all been profitable, and I've enjoyed them all. But I don't think you can become an expert at any one thing if you're trying to do 10 different things at once. So what I've decided to settle on is wholesale, and that's where I'm going. And sadly, I can't discuss wholesale with my channel because as soon as you're flooding the market, it takes to develop contacts. And if Chris's Daily Refinement channel, where he talks a lot about developing those wholesale contacts. But the other part of my life is I've been an educator for 18 years. I teach English. My degree, I have two, well, I have one degree, double major in literary studies, literature, and history. So the passion that I've always enjoyed is I love self-development books. I love fiction. Obviously, I love history. I love different types of literature, and I've decided that I want to turn this channel into like a book club. I don't know, it may be nerdy. A lot of these books will be business related, to so they could apply directly to reselling, and eventually I'll probably branch off into some other items. Book be reading and discussing is Napoleon Hill's The Law of Success. Um, Chris Daily Refinement. This is one of the best books he's ever read, and I do take book recommendations pretty seriously. So that's the first one, and I'm going to be doing the book reviews, book clubs on Thursdays. I think 7 Central Time. And anybody that would like to join, it is free. In the link below, you'll find a link to The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. And Thursday, I'm going to be reading this book. Is broken into 4 sections, and the first section, well, as he calls it, and the first lesson is the mastermind. The mastermind. I'm about halfway through. It's about 100 pages through the first lesson, and then there's 4 more in this volume. So if you would like to join the book club, all you got to obviously get the book and read it. I have the link on Amazon. You could also get the Kindle edition. Learn to be more successful in all areas of life. Obviously, I'm thinking reselling this applies to, but it can apply to any other area of your life. And it's really good. I've already read his Think and Grow Rich, which really changed my whole, speaking of mastermind, I read that several years ago, right before I got into reselling. Gave me the courage to try it, and I'm glad I've done it and been successful. And I'm still trying to keep growing that reselling business, but want to keep adding that good fuel to the mind. Um, let me kind of read you. I think Val, you were asking me to do a little reading. I'm not going to do much reading today. I just want to give you a little bit, uh, some tributes, some prefaces that were written at the beginning of the book. These are this book. These are from some great American leaders of the time. Now, this book was written in the early 1900s, I believe. 1928, the original edition, and it has been updated and reprinted. But I got the original. So, the first, this is from William M. Taft, former president of the United States and chief. This was a Chief Justice. He said, "My, I don't know how Chief Justice will sound, but here we go. My dear Mr. Hill, I have now had an opportunity to finish reading your Law of Success textbooks, and I wish to express my appreciation of the splendid work you have done in this philosophy. It would be helpful if every politician in the country would assimilate and apply the 16 principles upon which the Law of Success is based. It can be very fine material which every leader in every walk of life understand." All right, so that was from a Supreme Court justice. Another one. This is from Edison. Obviously, Thomas Edison is your light bulb guy, among other things, a great American inventor. And he wrote, "My dear Mr. Hill, allow me to express my appreciation of the compliment you have paid me in sending me the original manuscript of Law of Success. I can see you have spent a great deal of time and thought in its preparation. Your philosophy is sound, and you are to be congratulated for sticking to your work over some period of years. Your students will be amply rewarded for their labor." Now, here's a little background about the book. Napoleon Hill was challenged by Andrew Carnegie to share the secrets of success with people. And so Napoleon Hill spent, I believe, about 20 years studying successful millionaires and finding out their common attributes to be able to create a blueprint for people to be successful. And a lot of it is in the mind. Let's see. Let me catch up on the chat. Val smiling. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Thank you, Val. This takes a little bit of vulnerability to switch gears. And that's my next book. Actually, I don't know if you've ever read Brene Brown or seen any of her TED Talks or YouTube videos. We're seeing her on Oprah, and she preaches vulnerability. And kind of like Clay, and Clay's not here. I think he's hanging out with his mom. She preaches being vulnerable, and to do something like this does take a bit of vulnerability. And I'm trying to practice what she preaches, and that will be my next book. One of hers. I have it being shipped in from Amazon or eBay. I think about on eBay. I try to support eBay more than Amazon, by the way, because I do sell on eBay. Not currently on Amazon. I did in the past, but I digress. All right, let's go to the next one. This pretext was from Cyrus H.K. Curtis. He was a publisher of the Saturday Evening Post and the Ladies' Home Journal. You could tell that's kind of dated to the 1920s, right? Imagine you were a lady in the 20s, you got to get your Ladies' Home Journal. I guess how to cook and clean and whatnot. Anyway, he says, "Dear Mr. Hill, thank you for your lost success. It is great stuff. I shall finish reading it. I would like to reprint the story, quote, what I would do if I had $1 million in the business section of the Public Ledger." Now, that little story they're talking about, that if I had $1 million, we'll talk about it once we get to the book club, book reviews. Oh, there's some more. Ooh, there's some more on the back, guys. I'm trying to get y'all hooked. Because I really do think reading Napoleon Hill would benefit everyone that's a reseller. This is from F.W. Woolworth. You've probably heard of Woolworth. It was a really big company, retailer, up until recently. King of the 5 and 10 cent store. So this was the original. It was a 5 and 10 cent store, which will be now comparable to a dollar store, right? Think about inflation. By applying many of the 16 fundamentals of the law of success philosophy, we have built a great chain of successful stores. I presume it would be no exaggeration of fact if I said that the Woolworth building might properly be called a monument to the soundness of these principles. Wow, it's pretty strong, right? The Woolworth 5 and 10 cent stores were built on the principles in this book. All right. Samuel Gompers, historic American labor leader, goes, mastery of the law of success philosophy is the equivalent of an insurance policy against failure. I love that. The equivalent of an insurance policy against failure. This right here. Thanks for listening in, Nikki. I appreciate it. I hope you guys will stick around the book club. Maybe some of y'all will join me. But if you grow bored, hey, you know, Brian's not talking enough reselling. I get it. I won't get my feelings if you bail on me. I'm okay. All right, here's from Woodrow Wilson himself. Now, I know Woodrow Wilson is currently in the news for his racist tendencies in the past. And, you know, I don't endorse those, but I'm going to read his review. He says, may I congratulate you on your any man who devotes that much time must of necessity make discoveries of great value to others. I am impressed by your interpretations of the mastermind principles which you have so clearly described. And that is lesson 1 Thursday. We'll be talking about the mastermind. And actually, here's a little hint. Doing right here is a version of a mastermind, but we will be talking. We'll be talking more about it Thursday evening. I appreciate that, Nikki. I really do. Thank you. Let's see. John Wanamaker. Oh, that's a cool name. John Wanamaker. He was a department store founder, said, I know that your 16 fundamentals of success are sound because I have been applying them in my business for more than 30 years. George Eastman, the founder of Kodak, the big camera company, he said, I know that in the world of good success, I would not care to set a monetary value as training because it brings to the student qualities which cannot be measured by money alone. So we're talking about some life-changing things, guys. Val's listening while measuring. I like it. What are you measuring? Some shirts, tops? Thanks, David. My bookman, packing and listening. David knows a thing or two about books. He as a bookseller. By the way, here's a little reselling news. I did sell a vintage Bible, like leather bound white. I forget which edition. I sold it for like 45 bucks. I picked up for $5 at an estate sale. So look out for Bibles, especially leather Bibles, older Bibles. There is a very good market for them on eBay. And I'm sure Mercari and other places as well. All right, last one, William Wrigley. Now, you know Wrigley's Gum Jr., by the way. A food and family chef, by the way. Whatever success I may have attained, I owe entirely to the application of your 16 fundamental principles of the law of success. I believe I have the honor of being your first student. All right, so that's some, let me see. I'm using this as kind of a preview. Let me see. Now, the format has been changed. It has been changed, and I think he's condensed a lot of these into 4 big lessons. So once again, lesson 1, we'll be talking about the mastermind. Once again, I'll give you a little hint. Mastermind is what we are doing right now, but we'll talk about how to make a mastermind more effective on Thursday night's show. Val's measuring the tops and the bottoms. Nice. So obviously we're getting some listing. I like it. Clay said no sound on, but watching. Don't know what's going on except for the chat, which doesn't say much. Well, I could explain it to you, Clay, but since you're not listening, it wouldn't really help you now, would it? And I don't want to type all this out. So I'm not going to reply other than that, Clay. And Val found that funny. No more reselling. Yeah, I'm still reselling, Jay. It's just right now I'm doing wholesale, and I can't share a lot of wholesale. So I will probably talk a little bit of reselling, but mostly I'm going to be moving to a book club, book review format. There will be a lot of self-help type books, business books. You know, I will mix in some fiction, I'm sure, because I love fiction as well, to grow the mind. Because think about it. What do you need to be a good reseller? That's a good question. What do you need to be a good reseller? Why don't y'all comment below? Tell me if you got a second. Gotta get some H2O, guys. What do you got? What do you need to be a good reseller? Val says, my new goal is to list everything I sourced before more sourcing. Well, Val, you're using one of the things you need to be a good reseller. You're using your mind, right? You're setting and all this we'll get into the book, a definitive goal, and you're putting it into action. And I love that mentality. I myself, I went crazy. I bought up so much wholesale inventory last month. And I just ran my June numbers, and I made $69.88 in profit, which is good. It is good, but yet I spent more on inventory even than I made. So my plan for this, I am not sourcing anything else unless it's just to restock something that's sold out. Anytime something sells out, obviously you want to restock it because it's a successful product. But I'm not going to order new inventory until I've paid off that credit I spent to buy the inventory. And I did have a lot of it. So starting tomorrow, I'll probably get a lot of listing done myself. No, I love that. Goal setting it's part of this. We will get setting is definitely needed. Clay's not on here and he's not listening, so I will kind of push back on Clay's mindset. I can already hear him right now. Oh, I know, but and for Clay, it's all about a mindset. But you need a goal, guys. You got to have a goal. You got to have a direction. Without a goal or direction, how are you going to achieve? You don't even know how to measure your progress. So goals are so important. So no, thank you for sharing that. Great mind. Yeah, I don't know. Like Napoleon Hill, definitely a great mind. And what he did is he studied for 100 people for 20 years that were very successful financially because that's the easiest way to measure it. Then he looked for these common traits that they all shared, and then he shared those. And if anybody that does read help books, self-development books, you will find without this was the original. This Thinking, which was the book, and then he took those ideas and he expanded upon, and he actually is to teach people, and in this book. So yeah. Hey Jay's fancy face. That's funny. Sounds like a cat commercial. Fancy face. Checking out on the chat. Jay got a Kermit. Not sure. Jay says I pretty much reinvest the same or more than I made the month previous. Yeah, that's the way to build your business. Is to, if you can reinvest all your profit, you're just going to grow your store. And then every time you do that, like now, since I've been putting so much money into my daily sales are way higher than they used to be. And so it's working because you got your sell-through rate. So a certain percentage of your stores, I can't help myself talking, so I'm reselling. A certain percentage of your store is going to sell every day. So yeah, reinvest it. That's the best way to grow your store. Clay says, "Come on, folks, spice up the chat. Give me more content. Ha ha. About to eat with mom, so why no sound?" What are you eating, Clay? Somebody asking, what are you eating? Let me guess. There's no protein in, well, there may be protein. There's no animal products. It's probably going to be something like a small child would eat: macaroni and cheese, veggie nuggets. No, he doesn't eat good at vegetarian. Oh, and by the way, speaking of food, here's another thing. Trying to get better. Like, I put on weight over this whole COVID situation, so we have switched Mediterranean diet. It's and here's a little bit. If you don't know anything about the Mediterranean diet, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but it's based in the Mediterranean. There's an island in Greece that has the highest longevity of any group of people in the world. Like, they have more people over 100 percentage wise on that island than anywhere else. Almost no cancer, no heart disease. Comes at America, our fast food diet, and they're not obese either. So, kind of the basis. There's a lot of fish. There's a lot of olive oil. There's a lot of the healthy omega fats. It's real heavy on vegetables and fruit, healthy legumes like lentils. And so we got a menu. We stocked up the fridge yesterday. And for example, last night we had a yummy Greek salad. You know, all the different types of leaves. Cucumbers, tomatoes, black olives, feta cheese with a Greek vinaigrette dressing with some grilled chicken. It was actually pretty tasty. Had that for dinner. I made some overnight oatmeal with blueberries and strawberries. What you do is you just put the whole oats, not the instant stuff with all the sugar, put the whole oats in a mason jar. Now we're going to go into food talk. With the blueberries and the strawberries, you fill it up till it covers it with milk, and you let it sit overnight, and the milk does its magic, and then you got a yummy, healthy, filling, high fiber breakfast. And for lunch, we got these mini naan breads, and then we made homemade pizza, but like a healthier version of pizza. Put the marinara or the sauce, spaghetti sauce. Then I like sauteed some purple onions, some mushrooms, some black olives, and topped that on top with had some mozzarella cheese, some feta cheese. Oh, also diced up some sun-dried tomatoes on the little naan pizza, and then hit it with some Italian herbs, some thyme, some oregano, some rosemary. Baked that bad boy in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. Up for lunch. It was really tasty and relatively healthy. And for dinner, I'm going to grill some salmon. We'll probably have some couscous or quinoa with some type of beans or whatnot. And then for a dessert later, Greek yogurt with more berries. And tonight around 8, I got to go out, Val. I got to get that run in. Got to run at least 3 times. So there you go. There's an update on food, nutrition, and exercise. Let me catch up on the chat. Jay says, let your mom watch. And we want to know what Clay's eating. Mac and cheese is the guess. That's a good guess. I would. Potato, I'm guessing. Some type of French fries. He does love French fries. He does love cheese. Clay has the worst vegetarian diet of anyone I know, by the way. I don't know how he's skinny. Makes me angry. We're chatting about stuff. She watches some, but since we are hanging out, don't think she cares. It's good. It's good. Hanging out with your mama. Just don't bring any coronavirus her way. Huh. Well, you got to tell us what you're eating, man. And I thought originally, I thought you said an abnormal amount of. My daughter Emma loves cucumbers as well. Cucumbers are good. Put a little olive oil on there or some lemon juice, a little salt. Bam. Are good, especially this time of year when all the veggies and fruits are in season. And you have a winning recipe. Hydration. Let's get some water. Let's see. I'm back on 1 meal diet, down like 10 pounds. Yeah, the intermittent fasting definitely works. It definitely. I know that. Just trying to do more. Like I'm thinking, like not just weight loss, but health too. And I was thinking about going back to and with intermittent fasting. But then when I was looking at the reviews of all the eating plans or diets, the Mediterranean diet keeps coming up because it's really good for weight loss, but yet also for health. So that's why I decided to give this one a good try. Hopefully stick with it. I have a tendency of not always following through or sticking with things. That's one of my mind. Like I want to try different, and Clay gives me a hard time about that. I'm guilty as charged. I don't know. It's like I want to try so many different things. So, anybody out there gonna commit to reading the book and joining me on the book club? Because if not, I guess I'll have to do a review by myself, which I'm willing to do. Another thing is StreamYard now. You can have 10 people on StreamYard, so I could do the book clubs with up to 10 people. And the other thing is I've created a Patreon group and a Facebook page. By the way, links are in the description down below. If you guys are interested in joining, the Patreon group is where the book club will eventually go once we get over 10 people in it. I don't know how long that'll take, because then I'll have to switch over to Zoom to facilitate the book clubs, and probably will also have some exclusive content on the Patreon group and the Facebook page, also in the description, where we can share some information about books and whatnot. So don't know if I'm going to be doing this by myself Thursday. I kind of have the feeling I will be, but if anyone plans on joining my book club, all you got to do is read the book, do some annotations, some highlighting, come up with a question or two, have a question to ask about something you've read or a comment, a thought, and then we can have an interactive one. I kind of want to do it like I do in the classroom with my Socratic seminars. And I teach my students how to do this. Like they'll read whatever the piece of literature is. Let's say they were reading this, which would be tough for them, to be honest. And then they prepare some open-ended questions you can answer with 1 or 2 words. These are, like what is a mastermind and how do you know if it's effective? Something like that, where you really got to go back to the text. If somebody asked that question, then I would, I'm like, oh, on page the author says blah 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 blah, and this is my interpretation. This is what I think he's saying, and what it does is once you get used to that format, it creates a very college-like, very free-flowing discussion, and the amount of learning really shoots up. Like all my kids and my pre-AP kids, my English 1 kids, my advanced kids, even my regular kids, they really grow to love this format, and it gives them ownership. And it's very effective. So that's it's kind of the way I want to run the book club, at least to start with. All right, let's check out the comment. Jay's jogging 3 miles every few days now too. Good job, Jay. I like it. Killing it, man. Keep it up. Doing better than me. I'm up to 1.25 miles, and I did run. Gosh, when was it? Friday was my last run. And I ran in the afternoon. It was like, even here at like 7:30 or 8, as the sun's beginning to set, it's ungodly hot. I mean, it was like 95 degrees, heat index over 100, and I felt like I was about to die. But we do have a pool, and I kept telling myself, hang in there, hang in there. You can jump in the pool, jump in the pool. And that's how I celebrate my finishing of my run, my jog, by jumping into the swimming pool, which is much less hot and is so refreshing. All right. Let's see. How about you read it to us? Ooh, that's a lot. I will read some excerpts. Like the first lesson is 90. Let me see. Yeah, it's 92 pages. It's too much to read. It'll be a very long show. I will read some excerpts, but what I would like is people to get whatever book we're reading, to do the reading ahead of time, like you're in a class or like you're in a book club. Do little notes, some annotations, have some thoughts, have some questions to bring to the book club, and we will have a discussion. That's how I really do it. But I will read some excerpts, and if it's just me by myself, doing how many times a week? You're talking about the book club. I'm thinking once a week for the book club. Gives everybody about a week to read whatever we're going to be reading, to do your annotations, any notes you have, any questions that you have, any connections that you have. Another thing about teaching, like we all have connections to what we read, right? There's you have text to text. Like, ooh, when I read this reminded me of this other book I read. We have text to self, which is the most common one. Like I had that when he was talking about Woodrow. No, that was actually text to film or text to media. When I read it was Woodrow Wilson, that made me think about something that's going on in class. We have text to self. When I read this reminds me of something that happened to me that I can share. Those connections are help you facilitate the comprehension. Gosh, I don't even know why I'm saying all that. Anyway, I'm thinking like once a week, depending on the length of the book, and then eventually, as we get more people involved, I will take feedback and we can pick the books together. We can vote on what books we want to read. I want it to be democratic. I wanted people to buy in. I picked this one because this came from Chris, aka Daily Refinement Recommendation, and I've read the author before. And if you look at Chris, when he's doing $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month on eBay, if he says this is a great book, you should read the damn book, guys. Myself, you should read the book. Oh, I'm about to get going here. That's the thing, guys. When there's a blueprint to being successful, we got to follow the blueprint. Just it, we continue, but we got to take this content in. We got to apply it. We can't. Oh man, I want to get fired up right now just thinking about this. And this is in many ways, whether it's exercise, diet, we have to apply these things that have been proven to be successful. We can't say, no offense, Clay, we can't say, hey, I'm going to list if I feel like it. Can't say, hey, I'm going to work through this donut box. I'm picking on Clay. I'm sorry, Clay. But we got to apply these laws. All right, let me calm down. I'm about to get fired up. I hate reading actual books. Can I join? Yeah. Audible. Yeah, join on Audible. I know some libraries. Libraries. There's my country accent. Libraries. You can actually rent audiobooks for free. Gosh, what's that program? I'll try to look it up and let you know on the next broadcast. But yeah, Audible audiobooks are fine. I listen to audiobooks. I also listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm out driving, sometimes when I'm running, Spotify, Audible. It's all good. And actually, the research behind that says that listening to a book is the equivalent of reading the book. Like I always felt like I do prefer to read it, but audiobooks, the research says your brain is activated the same way as that your eyes were actually on the page. So audiobooks are absolutely fine. The only downside I would say, like with an audiobook, I would have to have a notepad. Like if it's something I'm just reading for fun, a fiction piece, a summer read, then I'm just listening to it. But otherwise, I'm a note taker. I nerd out, and I have to have my spiral. Jay's the same way. Yep, audiobooks are fine, guys. Yeah, dyslexia. Yeah, there's a couple of teachers. One of the better teachers I know has dyslexia, but I get it. Clay says, I'm going to do some book reviews with Just Chats and we discuss on the Clay can, so no pressure to read them. Hey, why are you trying to steal my thunder, man? And piss poorly. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, Clay was on Nana's Treasures Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. It was good. I watched it. I support Clay and everything. He does his things a little bit more laid back, and that's fine. So yeah, also check out Clay. He does a lot of self-help, emotional intelligence stuff, which I'm also working on. And my next book we're going to be doing it falls in that genre. God, what is it? It's Brene Brown's. Here, let me see. So I just ordered it. She has so many books out. They're all like bestsellers. She's on TED Talk. She's amazing. Let me see. This will be the next one after the Law of Success. It is called, nope, did I order on eBay? Oh, I ordered it on eBay. So let me look on eBay. Let me give you the title. It's weird. I'm so used to looking at my sales on eBay. It's called, here we go. Come on, open it. It's called The Gifts of Imperfection. I think this was her first one. I went by chronology. Wow, and it's here. Let me share my screen. I'll show you the next book. There we go. Share the screen. Share some audio. Okay. And actually, well, first of all, here's the current one. The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. By the way, you can see it's about 4.5 stars. That's one I'm currently reading. And the next one, and I try to support eBay. It's called The Gifts of Imperfection. Look at that, 4.8 stars. That's amazing. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be, and ... ellipses, and what? And embrace who you are, your guide to a wholehearted life. Now, I know from listening to her TED Talk and a couple of other, in a YouTube video, that she studies, she has a PhD. She studies shame. I know it's a really deep subject, right? Shame. But through the study of shame, she learned the happiness, and it kind of lies, and I haven't read it. This is just what I've taken in. And it lies with being vulnerable, taking chances and risks, which, to be honest, I'm not good at. I have kind of walled myself up throughout my life emotionally. And it's kind of like Clea would understand this. A lot of childhood things, like, well, maybe we'll talk about that another time. Nothing deep, but just like I've kind of walled myself off and have not taken a lot of risks throughout my life. And as I get older, I don't want to keep living that way. And her whole thesis, the theme that runs through her books is being vulnerable and truly living. So that will be the next one, and that one will be more in line with Nikki. I've never finished a book besides 50 Shades of Grey. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that type of fiction either. Hey, get those juices flowing, a little, get the juices flowing for sure. A little erotic, as it were. The genres, right? We do not. You can join the club and you can suggest a book. We can read whatever we agree on. Jay says, do you like fiction, Nick? I can recommend a really good, easy reading book. It's not too long either. Yeah, I think she does, based on that 50 Shades of Grey. And I love fiction too, like Stephen King, Dean Koontz, Neil Gaiman, of course, all the classics. I like scary books, Edgar Allan Poe. Nick says, overcoming dyslexia at any measure is astounding. I agree. Kudos to that comment. Clay says, just discuss the content. I mean, I tried 50 Shades. Clay getting a little kinky, a little freaky there. Freaky, Clay can. What? I'm sorry. It's hot in the garage. I tried 50 Shades, but the writing was like my 7th graders, and I wanted to scream. It was so bad. I have not read it, so I cannot comment on it. Yes, Clay. Got my stickers today. Oh, yeah. Did you order those from me, Nikki? Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Did you order those stickers? Thank you stickers. I do have thank you stickers, guys, in my eBay store and my Poshmark store, and they are selling really well. And I use them myself. I like to put those stickers on the packaging. It gives a little personal touch. I know Val does that as well because I ordered a bundle from Val a week or so ago, and she has some cool stickers too. 92 sounds doable. I just sunk at conversation. No, 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 don't think that. Hey, trust the teacher. I will bring it out of you. I can guide if y'all aren't comfortable at the beginning. I just would really like to have that can join me in on the discussion. I'll make it a lot more Brown. Like I'm making this switch, my channel switch to a book club, and the thought of, I'll be honest, the thought of doing a book review Thursday night by myself makes me really nervous, but I'm willing to do it if I have to. But I would much rather have some people join me in the book club. And no, it's a skill you can get better at, Val. That's the mindset, right? So the goal is, and this is the way you can look at this book club, to get better at reading, annotating, discussing, questioning. You will get better, I promise you. And with us, we'll make it very comfortable. We'll get our favorite beverages. A little too hot for coffee here in Texas, but I love my coffee. Maybe a beverage. And we will read and chat books and grow our minds. Ready Player One. I know they made that into a movie. Good and really easy to read. I guess the question I would ask before I made a book recommendation would be, what do you like to read? I always ask my students that, and based on the 50 Shades of Grey, I think we kind of know. Hey, you could like different genres. I like many different genres. Breeze with Jay. First one, Jay through and enjoy. I just heard reading soothes the soul. Yeah, reading does soothe the soul. It grows the brain. Think of, actually, Neil Gaiman says this. He says, fiction is the fertilizer of the imagination. Fiction is the fertilizer of the imagination. Think about it. With fiction specifically, every book you read, you're living through someone else's. You're in another person's body, another setting, another time, another place, another conflict. You're experiencing things that you may not have ever experienced before. Maybe you have. Also, research has shown that the more people read, the more empathetic they are. In other words, the nicer you are. The more you read, you become nicer. You begin to see issues, see problems from other people's perspectives, and it just makes you a nicer person. Not to mention, grows your mind, grows your vocabulary, um, your speaking ability, and obviously we're going to be doing some self-help books, some self-improvement books, some business books. My goal is to pick some of the books that will help us become better resellers. And we can use that. Like on this one, I will use a lot of reselling as the context, the background, to apply these principles with. So yeah, I love it, and I preach it hard. Okay, I'm lost on that conversation. Ready Player One, ONE. I haven't read it, but I know there is a movie. Ooh, let me catch up on the chat. And here's the thing: it's kind of like this chat, how this conversation's going back and forth. That's all we're going to be doing, but we're going to center on a book, and we're all going to be on the chat, up to 10 people. If we get more than 10, we'll move it over to Zoom. and we're just going to be chatting about something. I love the dialogue in the chat. We're going to be doing the same thing in the book club, but be centered on a book that we've all read that we can all share that same experience. Oh, Clay's getting defensive. Hey, I already said I was going to do this for weeks on new channel, just not going to have a formal book. No, it's fine, Clay. I was just messing with you. Clay, and I'll give Clay credit here. Thing I like about Clay the most is how vulnerable he is. Like that Brene Brown, he's an open book, metaphorically, right? He will share almost anything in his life with anyone, and people love that authenticity. So Clay, I think your Clay's Can channel is really going to do well in the long. The interview you had on Nana's Treasure was really good. Once you finally sent me the link, I watched like the last of it. It was really good. So promote Clay. I'm not sure both are amazing individuals, but thanks for the kindness, whoever that's directed at. Nikki says, I enjoy listening to you, Brian, because your voice is kind of soothing. Enjoy listening because you're as crazy as me. Yeah, Clay and I, we joke about that if we combined our strengths and weaknesses, we'd probably be pretty freaking amazing, right? Like, weaknesses kind of would overlap. And thanks for that comment, Nikki. I've heard that people have told me you should do voiceovers, that you're very soothing as you get your coffee and you tuck yourself in with your favorite book. I don't know. I'm being silly. And Clay is crazy. The birds sound so happy. It's almost like we're in a bird sanctuary here. I take it for granted. We have a pond, and there's a creek that runs right behind it. We have cranes. We have cardinals. We have blue jays. We have sparrows. And I'm not a bird expert. Probably different types of birds. And there's ducks that fly over and love in the evenings or the mornings. We got bird feeders too. We feed the birds, the neighborhood birds, and love. Actually, here's an interesting little story. There were some birds that built a bird porch. My daughter Veronica, she's 19, and she's the biggest animal lover you'll ever find. And sadly, the bird nest fell down. Not sure, maybe it was a high winds one day. And she researched it. The birds were okay, but they fell down, and she didn't touch them, but she picked up the nest, luckily. And so she picked up the nest and moved it off the ground because we also have a cat that we try to keep inside. And then she found out that there's a bird sanctuary near us, about 10, 15 miles. And the wife and my other daughter, Emma, they all drove to the bird sanctuary to save the birds and made a donation to the bird sanctuary to help save the other birds. So we're all about birds and animals at the Vent Casa. Nikki, you love scary? Ooh, we will do some good scary books. Stephen King. Oh my gosh, we will do some Stephen King. The scariest book I've ever read, Pet Sematary by Stephen King, and the movie is crap compared to the book. I was in high school when I read this. I remember sleeping with my closet light on. I was so freaking terrified. And Stephen King, in one of the books, one of the interviews about writing, he said that was the scariest book, from his opinion, that he ever wrote, because I don't want to give away what happened, but what happened in the novel almost happened to him in real life, and it's the basis of the story. He said he began writing it, and he got so terrified that he locked the manuscript drawer for several years and couldn't even come back to it. Eventually, he came back to it and finished it. Love Stephen King. Stephen King is great at bringing characters to life like no other author. He's the best at characterization, and so you buy into this world because you recognize these characters, you relate to these characters, see yourself in some of these characters, or people, friends, or loved ones, and so you relate, and then all of a sudden, once you're hooked, puts the little twist, supernatural twist. I've already bought into this, and then you're along for a ride. And Stephen King, he's all about the story. The story is going to be fast moving, page turner, so we can love Stephen King. I read everything he writes. Mr. Kuntz. Kuntz is also very good. He's similar to King. He's also really good at character development. He also has the supernatural twist. Kuntz is also one of my favorites. Have you ever read Neil Gaiman? Well, he's also really good. He moved to America and became a citizen here. Read all three. Not sure which three. Got to go see you Thursday. Thanks, Jay. See you Thursday. Hope you get the book and join the conversation. Nikki will be there. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. And I will, when you read it, because it's written in the 20s, it's a little dated. It's okay. Like, there's a whole section where he's talking about electrons and neutrons and science. You're like, what the heck? And it's a long section, so it's okay to skim through it. But he's making it there. And I'll give you a little, since you said you're committed, I'll give you a little point. When he's talking about that, he's talking about, because you talk about protons, neutrons, electrons, just how you can change one electron, one proton element, and you completely different. So he's making a point there that things are organized in a certain way, and the way that they're organized is so important. And that's true in life and the organization and organized things. So if you get bogged in the section, just kind of skim through it until you get to the other parts. There's some great stories. There's some great real examples in here. And I will, you have to go into this book open-minded, because some of the things he's talking about, some say they're too far out there. They're in left field. Like his whole concept of the mastermind and how we get our ideas. The first time you read it, I don't know, this dude's. But go into it with an open mind, and like I have, and I've kind of come along to this way of thinking. Like here, and I'll give you a little preview. Like thoughts, we're actively thinking about something we've experienced, something we've read, but sometimes an idea just pops into our head, right? And we've all experienced. Just have this. You weren't even thinking about it; it just magically popped into your idea. And it's about how that happens. His theory behind it may seem a little out there in left field, but if you really kind of think about it, and we'll talk about this Thursday, I think there may be something to it. So just go into the book with an open mind, and keep in mind all he studied, like Henry Ford, Woodrow Wilson, Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie. Like, he studied the most successful people, and these principles come from these people. So I keep that in my mind when I want to push back, like, I don't know. The Neil Gaiman quote, yeah, it's Neil Gaiman is great. He writes some great fiction. He also writes on writing, because I've also taught courses on like creative writing and how to actually write, and that's fun too. Maybe an episode on creative writing one day, where put up a picture and we can write from it. Val agrees. Clay, you did great. Yep. Yeah, Clay's really good when he's talking about self-help and things like that, I think. And we have big black birds that sound like. I wonder what do you think they're yelling about? What is that conversation about, Val? What are they yelling about? Arguing whether Val should have bought listing or no. It's one of the birds being a bad bird. The Stand. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. The Stand. Yeah. Top 10 book. It may. I don't know. I just have my like a top 10. I don't know if it's my number one. It may be my number one twice. The Stand is freaking amazing and a little scary right now with this pandemic going on, because they actually interviewed Stephen King and he said there's some scary signs between The Stand, apocalyptic book. It is amazing. Themes, so many themes, good versus evil. I relate to one of the main characters. Like, this guy's trying to also, he realizes he's flawed, improve himself, better human. Gosh, that is a great book. I would love to reread that a third time. Yes, that is amazing. Actually, Denver is one of the locales for that book, on which I'm sure you already know about. Nick said, I never watched cartoons as a child. Seriously, I only watched horror films. Yep, yep. I like a good scary movie. I love a good scary book. The Stand, End of the World. I don't want to give too much. End of the World. It's been a while. Virus, something that leaks out of a military installation, wipes out most of the world. You have God and the devil and evil and multiple world. Oh man, so much going on there. But it's a book about the end of the world and good versus evil. And it is amazing. The Stand is, it's long, it's very long, but it is worth it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Currently reading Pet Sematary, yeah, yep, especially where, I mean, I don't want to get in, but I mean, I guess the plot's pretty these days, but yes, there's a couple scenes in there that will give you goosebumps, literally. So good, so scary. Yeah, The Stand is amazing. Gosh, I love this. We're talking books. Listen, audio, and read Cliff Notes. Hey, it's all good, Nikki. All good. My daughter just got back. She dropped off my orders at the post office. Yeah, it's a good outlet for your mind. It's a good way to relax. And that's the thing. I'm trying to become more balanced. That's the other reason I wanted to do wholesale, because I can get my hours back in line. It doesn't take as long listing for computer time. So I 3 or 4 p.m. every day, and then have more of a normal life versus working 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. Danica, you are my post office friend background. Hey, that's a compliment. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Get all those orders dropped off. Hope you had lots of good sales this week. I will say it was slower than normal, but I think that's to be expected with the 4th of July. People aren't a lot of shopping. Plus, we're in the dead anyway, June and July. But hang in there. Keep sourcing. Keep listing. Keep reading. All right, guys. This has been a good chat. We're pushing up on an hour. That's kind of where I want to keep it at for this chat. Once again, Thursday night, we're going to be doing our book club, Thursday 7 p.m. Central. Nikki's going to be just as much of it, the first section as you can, lesson 1. Napoleon Hill's The Law of Success. Anate will be reading, discussing that. And that will be the new Thursday night things. I may still do a short or recap. I'm not sure around this time during the day. We'll see. But hope y'all tune in Thursday night. Get the book, links in the description. Check out my Patreon group, links in the description, and the Facebook group. They're all called One Page at a Time book clubs. Because kind of the thing is, let's get better. Let's minds each at a time, guys. And it'll give us something interesting to chat about besides just reselling. So I don't have Clay here to do my out, so I'll be exiting. Have a good day, guys. Keep listening, keep sourcing, keep reading until Thursday, or maybe I'll drop by tomorrow for a quick show. Let's have a good one. We'll see you out. Peace.